Yeah.
He wanted people to take drugs when they're emotional. It's not that big of a... He is twisted. He is messed up.
Yeah.
But then what cult leader isn't?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, it's nothing new, but the way he went about it. Not to mention, he sold pretty cheap drugs, and are they really hurting people? Are the drugs really hurting anyone?
Well, considering the
That's right.
actions...
It's up to the person who's doing the things when they're taking the drugs. It's
Yeah.
not his fault they're taking the drugs. Not to mention, he's not pressuring anyone to take the drugs like cigarettes. That boy points that out. And plus, they don't advertise.
Yeah.
You gotta find them.
Yeah.
You gotta search out for trouble.
Yeah.
And if you want to join us, that you can.
Huh?
He gives them options and choices. He doesn't force them like other drug lords.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he's not busting down their door.
Right, until later.
He doesn't do that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. He was set to do that.
Yeah.
He was after drugs.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's a lot like it is a very addictive drug.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as long as you have a steady supply, you're pretty fine.
Yeah.
But the problem is, he wants drugs now. So
Yeah.
and that's a real thing about a druggie. They will do shit.
Yep.
You took away his vices, and when you take away a person's vices, they go pretty ape shit.
Yep.
Not to mention that RoboCop 2 is a pretty fucking monster.
Yeah.
You can't beat the original 2.
I mean, you got something that essentially,
Yeah, it is a model.
would be hell for, like a multitude of Ed 209s. You know?
Well, actually, they did build it. It is a full-size thing.
Yeah. Full-size animatronic?
But they used it in stop motion.
Yeah. And
Because they wanted to look clunky.
Yeah, and that reminds me, the effects in there, still stop motion, and
It looks pretty good. Not to mention, I think that's how something that big would move around.
Yeah, it looks very robotic, which is,
I mean, with Ed 209's, the first step it takes, it looks pretty dang good.
Yeah.
But I think for what it is.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention John Davison. Was it John Davis or John Davison? The guy who did the effects for Ed 209, I think. John Davison, yeah, because there's another producer called John Davis.
Yeah.
This is Jondavison. The other one's John Davis. In other words, Johndavis.
Yeah.
Like that always messes me up.
Yeah.
And they're both some of my favorite producers. They do a lot of cool effects. But we're
yeah. There's no main topic still. Anyway. Yeah.
And I always find it really weird when RoboCop in RoboCop 1 he used the Cobra assault cannon on Ed 209 as payback.
Yeah. And
then he does it again on RoboCop 2, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Then again, they'd have to destroy the model.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention the Cobra assault cannon kind of changes from series to series.
Yeah.
Like in the TV series, it was a sort of an assault rifle with a grenade barrel on the bottom. You could fit in a briefcase.
Yeah.
But I like the design for this because it's essentially a assault rifle with a tracker on it.
Yeah.
Like laser sighting or something. Yeah. That looks pretty freaking beastly of a gun.
Yeah. But the first time it actually blows the Ed 209 up and the legs.
It's a pretty destructive gun.
And they're wobbling. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Every time I see Ed 209 start to come after Robo, it's all awesome until it gets to the stairs. It's one weakness.
Oh yeah, stairs. Motherfucker's one weakness is fucking stairs.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny
though. Evil badass thing. Oh god, stairs.
By the way, why does it have animal sounds programmed into it?
I have no earthly idea. I
guess they wanted to make it like a beast or a creature.
Yeah, I noticed that kind of growl was also in the
lion's roar.
Was also somewhat in the RoboCop 2 robot.
A little bit, yeah. I think the same people helped make it.
Yeah.
Similar producers, I don't know. And then actually from these movies, John Davison went to work on Starship Troopers and the creature effects, and those are pretty damn impressive. He did the CGI as well, I think.
Those are really good.
That's really dang good. But you really think it's there.
Yeah.
And then RoboCop pulls him off a fucking building through the ground. They come back up. It seems like a pretty equal match.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Terminator. It's like the T-800, or sorry, it's the T-850 in Terminator 2, versus the T-1000. That's a pretty good equal match.
Yeah.
One has strengths over the other.
Yeah.
One has cunning. One is just a machine.
Yeah.
And it seems like a pretty even fact, but it does. But everything has a weakness.
Yep.
The drugs.
Yep.
Give him the drugs, and while he's distracted and pretty high off his ass for fucking container.
Yeah, and tube.
Yeah, and he gets on his back and pulls his brains out and smashes it on the ground.
Yep.
And then it ends right there. But we learn that the old man, the chairman, seemed to be pretty bad in this film.
Yeah, he went.
Not to mention he was shacking up with the girl in charge of choosing the brain for RoboCop 2.
Yeah, and that's creepy enough.
Although she did that so that she couldn't be, easily taken out.
Yeah. And in the end, it seemed like she was
charged. She was charged.
Anyway, so.
Yeah. That's the thing. Power corrupts. Yep. Money corrupts people. And then we move on to RoboCop 3, which is 6 months afterward, and people are refusing to sell their homes.
Yeah.
So it's essentially nowhere to run.
Yeah, and instead of having, and the
cops don't want to do it, so they hire these
rehabs,
which is essentially punkers.
Yeah,
that they trained to just be dirty cops. They're just shiny.
Well,
they're just polished turds,
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they're moving everyone out of Cadillac Heights, which is a pretty. Yeah, that's pretty kind of clever calling it Cadillac Heights, considering it's Motor City.
Yeah. And, the scene where people are being forced out of their homes.
Yeah, that's pretty dramatic.
It actually is pretty dark,
It's pretty dark. And then we have the I'd buy that for $1 coming back.
Yes.
We forgot to talk about Paul Verhoeven's distractions. And the 6000 SUX. 6000 sucks gets 8.2 miles to the gallon. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And, and 2, Magnavolt. Lethal response. And it won't even drain your battery. Or Sunblock 5000.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a reference. Because next year they say if people who don't have Sunblock PSF 1 million are going to have a really bad day. I wonder if that's a reference. And I love the Surgeon General warning: frequent use will cause skin cancer.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to prevent.
Yeah.
The sunblock.
Let's see now, with RoboCop 3, I think at that point RoboCop had gone.
It's a pretty mixed bag.
Yeah, it's got its.
Plus, I think between the chairman the guy who played the chairman died, so they get rip torn. They come up with a new story, and it's really, and then the OCP kind of owns the city now.
Yeah,
they own the city now because that was one of the plots of 2.
And then OCP gets bought out by a Japanese company that's headed by Uncle Hiro from Last Airbender.
Really?
Yeah, it's Mako.
Mako?
Yes.
Wait. I thought Mako died before Last Airbender.
No. He died
after. Okay.
While Avatar: The Last Airbender was being done.
Okay. Yeah, because he played the uncle in the cartoon.
Yep. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't continue the show.
Yeah.
Where am I going? And Kanemitsu took over OCP because their stocks are failing.
Yeah.
It's also because they're running out of funds, because, they spent all the money on RoboCop 2.
Yeah.
And greenlighting Delta City, getting everything ready.
Yeah.
And it's do or die.
Yeah, and the rehab commander is a teetotal jerkwad.
Well, he just wants to get the job done, and as time goes on, he starts losing it a little bit. But then I think he's already lost it all the way.
Yeah.
And what was it? I was gonna say something. There is a bit of humor in RoboCop 3, but I don't think it's unintentional. I don't think it's intentional.
Oh.
Some
of it is.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. But then again, I think it follows the line of Terminator 3 in a sense. As you keep going, you're going to run out of tension.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of franchises with a third film.
Well, that...
a lot of people think Empire Strikes Back is the best of the trilogy. Meanwhile, Return of the Jedi, it ends the story.
Yeah.
It's a good
that,
ending.
and I personally, after seeing repeated viewings of RoboCop 3, I view the humor as something that's actually necessary because
it's very dark.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension in there, you know.
Not to mention kids. This is a PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
and they had to do that because they had a kid actor who was I think 12. I think that the other kid in 2 was 16 or something. Or 14. The point is that kid was more mature. When you get a kid involved, you kind of have a problem with viewing with audiences.
Well, then, considering that
it's a girl too.
Yeah, I'm not going on that.
Well,
one.
they couldn't make her do. They couldn't make her do too much.
Right.
And she was in the middle of all the destruction.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, in RoboCop 2, it was kind of a big deal to kill that kid too.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that is an emotional scene. But in in 3, we have Rip Torn as the head of the company. I don't know. I think I do like Rip Torn.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I guess this is what he did after retiring from Men in Black.
Yeah.
Because he retired at the end of... No, he died.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he's playing one of the aliens in that scene.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
But, yeah, it's...
Yeah, I don't like Men in Black 3 that much. It's forced. I think it's a forced third movie.
Yeah.
Not to mention Tommy Lee Jones looks old as shit.
Yeah.
I think he went on with no makeup.
Mm.
He looks good. He still looks the same. You can tell he's starting to liver spots or whatever. And
spots, all that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
RoboCop 3. It is a fun ride, especially when he gets the jetpack.
Yeah, the jetpack.
Fuck you, I can fly.
The jetpack and the friggin' arm cannon thing.
Because he need to get some more armaments.
Yeah. I mean, come on, a machine gun / rocket launcher.
Smart bomb too.
Yeah. Hello.
It's a flamethrower as well.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of needed that, and that was a pretty neat effect. For him having only one arm.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense why he has an arm in the last scene, or his visor's fixed, because he got that cracked and he got his arm chopped off. But who cares? It's a good. And I think I don't think we really needed him messed up for the last scene. They probably shot that before all that happened.
Yeah, that was
because
it is.
It's we're gonna fuck this street up in 10 minutes. Can we shoot the last scene?
Yeah,
let's do that. And Lewis died in the third one.
Yeah,
she died, and
very heartbreaking, very dramatic.
Yeah, she felt kind of bad that she got killed a little bit.
Yeah,
but it helped. But then again, she got lucky in the first movie.
Yeah. In the first one.
Yeah, there was rumors that she was going to be turned into a robo. And
to me, that would have been an interesting thing to have happen in the third.
I think it would have made RoboCop 2 too emotional.
Yeah.
I think it would have. It would have been it's okay, Lewis. I've been there. I think it would have been too buddy for what they were trying to do with RoboCop 2, because there was a couple of other plots. Frank Miller's original. It was very dark, and they made that into a comic book.
Yeah.
And then the original writers, Ed Neumeyer and Miner, they were going to do something a little different, 100 years later. Yeah. RoboCop got shot pretty badly, and he's on the table, and the world's ruined. I think that's where the RoboCop versus Terminator thing might have come into play.
Yeah.
That might have. That might have been a pretty good idea, but it never came to pass. I don't think that really would have made a whole lot of sense. It probably would not have been very good.
It was alright.
It would have been a neat idea. Probably just wouldn't have gone down with a lot of people.
But, like I said, not only does she get killed, she gets killed by the head of the rehabs, which...
McDaggett.
Yeah, McDaggett. Sounds like an odd McDonald's food.
It's a good... It's a villain's name. It's a villain's name you'd expect.
Yeah. But anyway...
Damn it, McDaggett.
Can I have a McDaggett and a large fry?
Yeah, but there's that, and then they win.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that RoboCop fights two robot ninjas.
Oh yeah.
Android ninjas called Otomos.
Yeah.
That screams android right there.
Yeah.
Otomo.
Yeah. Well,
and then there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
One RoboCop kills, and then one RoboCop kills, shoots, and another one that comes out. I'm like,
well, that and heck, the other thing that I liked about that was the freaking kid with her thing that looked like a freaking Apple laptop.
That was a pretty neat prop.
I'm over here going,
we didn't have computers like that back
what
then.
What the heck? You reprogrammed the Ed 209. I like this.
It was a pretty neat idea.
Where's mine for Christmas?
Not to mention the Ed 209 wasn't in stop motion in that scene.
It
was moving around pretty normally.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty stationary.
Yeah.
Trying to think here. And they put a warrant out for RoboCop, and RoboCop walks right into the police station. Like, Murphy, you know there's a warrant out for you?
Yeah.
Yes. Just checking. And we forgot Reed, the chief.
Yeah.
I think he's the chief. I call him the chief.
Yeah.
Superfly.
Yep.
Superfly is your chief.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he is, and he's
no nonsense. He's the only good cop.
And I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, I think he's the only one who actually stuck around through all 3 movies.
Johnson as well.
Yeah, Johnson,
the black
as
guy.
Well.
And Lewis.
Yeah.
And you can't really replace Ann Lewis.
I was going to say,
at least in the movie universe, you can replace her for a TV show.
I thought she was replaced though in the 3rd movie.
No, it was the same lady.
Same actor?
Ann Lewis.
But yeah.
She just had a different hairstyle.
Yeah,
I think she dyed her hair a little bit. I think it was red in 2.
Yeah, it was like fireball red.
And then in 3, I think she had curls. It may have not been dyed. It's really, the point is it's her. Yeah. She just looks a little older.
Yeah.
And I think they should have waited a little bit longer for Peter Weller to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, the other guy does a good job. But I really wish it was the other guy.
Yeah.
I really wish it was Peter Weller. But, oh well. I mean, he kind of looks like Peter Weller a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
Then again, I think that one of the explanations is that his face was a little burnt.
Yeah.
Because he did get set on fire.
Yeah.
I think Peter Weller saw that bucket. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And the movie ends with him killing the 3 cyborgs, shooting McDaggett, and then the robots that killed themselves were rigged to self-destruct, and the whole place was atomized with McDaggett, and he burned his legs in the process. That's
trying to get out with the.
Oh, I love when RoboCop comes up and he's like, "What can I do for you, officer? How can I help you, officer? By resisting arrest. Make it hard for me, please." RoboCop's got a bit of an ego from 2 and 3.
Oh yeah.
Then again, he's pretty much indestructible. I think he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
He can't eat, he can't sing, he can't do anything else besides kick your ass.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants. And
at least we don't have him singing at any point in any of these movies, thank God.
Although in 2, we do have him acting pretty fucking funny.
Oh, just because
they reprogrammed him.
Oh, yeah, they gave him all sorts of weird shit. And it's like...
Weird directives, and he's moving around funny.
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on.
Like, you're reading Miranda to a corpse.
Yes.
I do love in 2 when he walks into the arcade and all these kids are there. And he's like, "Isn't this a school day? Officer Duffy, you've sold us out. Where is Kane? Where is Kane?" Then he bashes his head into 2 bad dudes. That was a pretty good thing. And there was pretty good lines in 2. Yeah. And from then on, it went pretty quiet. But between, I think in like 1990, there was a cartoon.
Yeah.
That Marvel did.
Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting. It continued the story a little bit, and we saw some characters, or it mentioned a lot of characters. It focused on what was going on. But Lieutenant Hedgecock had this bit of a rivalry with him.
Yeah.
A machine can't replace a man. And then in one of these episodes, he got in a machine to try and kill him. Hypocrite.
Yep.
But that was a pretty good Stan Lee production because he helped produce that.
There was that. There was the Prime Directives.
Prime Directives cable TV show.
Yeah.
But before that, there was